Maybe walk us through first what exactly is a data platform, dispel any, myths about it, and why organizations should invest in building one.
So when you talk about a data platform, right, you ask different people, they may give you different answers. But I think what's in common is overall, it's the high-scale data infra every company builds to solve the business problems for the company, right? So I hope that's brief enough because, you can have different variations depending on which company or which industry you are in, right? But in terms of why, right, so I can maybe share a little bit more about the story at Box, right? So when I first joined Box about 3 years ago, we didn't have a data platform because we call them like data infra, different teams, right? They work in data silos. So they had their different data infra. They had a dedicated set of people managing the data infra, managing all the data. And it's really hard to scale at that time. And also, there was no way for these different teams to share data. They work in silos. And not to mention, okay, can you guarantee the right performance of your data infra? And there's cost challenges there, right? It's hard to scale reliability, quality, all these problems. So I believe if we talk about the why here, right, you think about without it, what would happen, right, to a company? So I think essentially, like I mentioned before, right, we want to have this right scale, the high scale data infra. So for Box, right, maybe I can share a few numbers so people can understand a bit more. So for Box, we are a content cloud company. We have millions of users and we manage billions of objects. So when I talk about objects, these are like files, folders, and other kind of objects customers store in the Box Content Cloud, right? And they interact with these files and folders all the time. Think about all the downloads, uploads, editing, deletions, right? So imagine that kind of scale, like you have, all the user activity data, metadata, file information you need to manage, right? If we work in data silos, we just have teams managing their own data infra. It's a really hard problem we're solving. So it's very important to build such high-scale data infra to solve the business problems for the company. So hopefully, yeah, that's something people can resonate when they hear about this.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. It's hard to imagine as well, like a company like Box that operating at such high scale of data as well, not needing something like a data platform, right? So, and then when you reflect on your experiences kind of leading the data platform group so far at Box, you mentioned you joined 3 years ago. A lot of work has happened since then. What do you think are kind of key components of building an effective data platform? What makes a data platform successful?
So that's actually, I think, the core of data platform. So I always want to keep things simple, right? But like you said, what are the key components here? Maybe that's where we start when we build a data platform, and then we can build on top of that. So these are like the building blocks of a data platform. So I think essentially, right, we want to get the data in, right, and then make it available for different teams across the company to consume the data. And then you need to have a pipeline, right, to get the data in. That's the data ingestion pipeline. But you need to think about all the data sources you have at the company, right? It could be on your platform, like it's other teams. They are, let's say, storing the transactional data, but they need to get data ingested into your data platform for other teams to consume, right? It could also be some third-party tools, let's say your marketing team or customer success team are using. So it's off-platform data. It's another type of data source, but you need to figure out for those data sources, how do you build the right ingestion pipeline to get the data in your data platform, right? So I think the first key component is the ingestion pipeline in my mind. And second, you need to be able to, process the data, right? It could be the ETL pipeline, right? We work together with our data engineering team to build that. But beyond that, right, there are teams who want to use your data processing capabilities, right? So probably you get the data in for them, but they want to do some further processing, like application-specific objects. So they probably want to use your batch compute or stream compute capabilities, right? So at Box, right, we have streaming use cases for sure, both on the infra side and also on customer-facing side. So for example, we have a security product team. Their job is to basically detect anomaly of user activities. Let's say, oh, your company only operates in these regions, but you found some downloads, actually hundreds of downloads within a second from a region you have never seen before. So that's suspicious location or suspicious activity, right? They want to detect right away, or we say near real time. So that's when stream compute come into the picture. And that team will need to leverage the stream compute capability we have on data platform. So that's the second key component, data processing. So it could go batch, stream, or you could have both. And I think the third key component, I think maybe people talk about that all the time, is the most is the core of the core, data lake, right? Once you ingest data, process it properly, you need to store it, manage it somewhere. And then you need to support all the use cases for your customers. Here I talk about internal customers, but of course, they build products or they build analytics for external customer or leadership for those dashboards, right? So we need to, choose the right tool, the right technology, and then we need to innovate on top of that for sure, right? There's performance, there's cost, but of course, the feature set you have in mind. So then to summarize, right, the three key components I have in mind is data ingestion pipeline, data processing capabilities, and also data lake.